Whoosh.
To my younger self, what's your
To
story?
my younger self.
To 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 my younger self. To my younger self.
To my younger self. What's your story? To my younger self. What's your story?
Well, hello there. Good morning. What a wonderful day it is today. Today is Tuesday, August 9th. My name is Zoe Baraka. Of course, the show is To My Younger Self, and we come here every Tuesday morning to tell stories and just encourage each other as Africans and, of course, as Ghanaians. Listen, if you are in the chat room already, and I see a few of you are here, yes, yellow, Professor Audrey. Oh my God, Kangbeng, we woke up a professor indeed. I'm telling you, 2 PhDs in a row. That's crazy. Baba Forsen, I see you. Beverly, one of our biggest fans and supporters, I see you. Good morning. Oh my God. Okay, we are not doing the chat room right now. Okay, it is blowing up too much. Let us jump in because today is one of those days where we are just taking a step of faith. We're just going. Okay, greetings to you. Where are you watching us from? Like we always do on To My Younger Self. Baraka dazua to you. Sanunku dazua yaya de kakwana lafia. I hope you slept well. I just greeted you in the Hausa dialect. Ya ken toma futwa wela toma awela. We are so grateful you are here. Niti zamzam to you. I just greeted you in the Kasal dialect. I am so thankful. Indinao to you. Wezo aleke. I hope you are doing well. It is so good to see you. I just greeted you in the Ever dialect in Ghana. If you're from the Volta region, it is so good to see you. Etisei Omutiden Akwaba. I am greeting you. Imemawachi. I hope you slept well. Sawubonani to you. If you speak Zulu, our South African friends, hello. Ibella to you, Biokibari to you. If you speak Moshi, apparently I don't have the accent for the Moshi, but you know what? I am going to get it. Okay, I promise you. Te oyo ten to you. I am greeting you. OJ Ko, if you speak in Ghana, I greet you. Ekaro to you, ekabo to you, to our Nigerian fans. We are so grateful you are here, just telling stories with us. Nagadef to you. Do you speak Wolof? Are you in Senegal? We greet you, friends. Jambo, habari gani? I greet you in Swahili. Kotong to you, Amohelang to you. If you speak Sesotho in Botswana, we are so grateful you are here with us. Inyasi to you, Domelake from the Bisa people of Burkina Faso. Thank you for joining us. Kotoli to you. If you are Fulani and you speak Fofoldi, I am about to choke. Okay, you know what that is, right? Because I'm speaking really, really fast because I'm trying to get to the real package today, the real thing, the real reason why we're here. Akeyi to you, we are paying homage to our Creole speaking friends. Aiti Sheri, stand up, Aiti. We greet you. Bon dia to you if you speak Portuguese. Of course, bonjour to you, to our French speaking friends, and buongiorno. Buenos dias, and of course, welcome. I am so happy to see you. Who is that person that's always giving us an angry face? Who are you? Why are you so ornery every Tuesday morning? Why? It's all good. We love you still, okay? A few people in the chat room today. Let's see. Christabel, it is so good to see you. Wow, Dr. Vivian, I see you. Our own producer, Elsie. It is so good to see you. Ryle Adam of New York. Naya, New York, I see you. The woman herself making things happening. Lady Abaketo, and I see you. Rachel in Kenya. My goodness, you guys are up early. Only Minister Joe Mettle can do this. Bring people, waking them up early to just join us. My goodness, the entrepreneur herself, Abnechewa Enchi. I have not seen you in a while. I know, right? Only Minister Joe can do that. All right, let me go in and introduce this young man. And I'm going to tell you a little quick funny story before we jump in. We had another artist slated for today, as you all know. And she is in concert in Europe, and some things happened and she couldn't be here. Now, my dear friend Abaketo, and I'm in a meeting with her. Minister Joe Mettle is also in the same meeting. A week ago, or maybe a couple of days ago, Abba had sent something in a chat room that we all belong to on WhatsApp, and it just said something about shooting your shot. Right? Shoot your shot, whether it's the job you want, the relationship you want. You know how people post stuff like that on Instagram and social media. And it's one of those powerful statements, and Abba herself, because of some things, was also shooting a shot for something else, which kind of happened through Minister Joe Mettle. And so we are in the meeting now. And I am racking my brain. I told my producers, this lady, our artist, she canceled, yada, yada, yada. And I heard in my spirit. Now, I do not know Minister Joe Mettle anywhere except on the screens when he is bedazzling us with his anointed voice and taking us into the throne room of worship. I have never met the man. I do not know him. I'm sitting in a Zoom meeting and I'm saying to myself, should I ask him? And I'm saying, but he's very busy. He's on tour in the United States. You can't do that to him. And why will he say yes? He doesn't know you. Anyway, I said, you know what? I'm going to shoot my shot. He may say yes, he may say no, but at least I did. So I sent Abba a quick side note. I don't know if Minister Joe himself noticed what was happening. I said, sis, I am very sorry, but I'm shooting my shot. I'm going to ask him to come on to my younger self because we don't have a guest for tomorrow. This is how God shows up right on time. At the very tail end of the meeting, I just said it. I said, you know what? I never really do this. Actually, that's not true because I do this a lot. I just ask people, do you want to come to my show? I say to Minister Joe, well, do you want to come to my show? He said, what time? I said, 7:30 in the morning. And the way he said yes, just like that, I told him, hold on, I need to go do a praise dance. I'll be right back. And that is how we have this incredible person. I know he's so tired, but he's here because he knows he's going to touch some hearts today. Let me say a few things about him. He does not need introduction at all, okay? But we scrambled. We didn't have a bio for him. We scrambled. So Minister Joe, I know you're watching us. Please, when you come on, just in case we did something or said something in the bio that is not true, please feel free to correct us. We want to be fact checked all the time, right? Okay, so let me read a little bio for those of you in other parts of Africa who do not know who Minister Joe is. First of all, shame on you. How? But Minister Joseph Oscar Mettle, he has a fancy name, doesn't he? I love his name. Also known as Joe Mettle, is a multi-award-winning Ghanaian gospel musician, lyricist, and artiste, known for his creativity, stagecraft, and passion. A maestro in his own right, Joe exudes such presence on stage. It is challenging to ignore the incredible hard work dedicated to his musical prowess. Oh my God, he's got it. He has gradually carved a niche for himself as a must-hear gospel artist of our time, filled with the power of the Holy Spirit. Yes, listen, even when he's just saying like, oh, good morning, there's a sing song to it. It's crazy, right? His ministry has touched, inspired and blessed many lives. Over the years, this incredibly talented son of Ghana, yes, people, he's from Ghana, has graced stages with several industry greats as Cindy Thompson, Minister Danny Nette, my goodness, that man, God rest his beautiful soul. Reverend Neokai, MOG, Denzel Ajiman Prempeh, Don Moen, Israel Horton, Tokozo Mambo, yes, Benjamin Dube, Micah Stampley, Alvin Slaughter, Sonny Badu, Sissy Winans, Uche Ugu, and many, many more. Listen, if we were going to mention the names, we would just do a show for name dropping and go home, okay? He served as a lead singer for Soul Winners. Did you know that? Yes. Joe Mettle is a founder of the Community Worship Project, which organizes monthly worship services in communities, as well as a senior high school outreach program that aims at redirecting the hearts of young men and women back to Christ through music. What a purpose. He is the recipient of several awards, including Artist of the Year awards in Ghana and the Stellar Awards. Please correct me because I'm not exactly sure where the Stellar Awards comes from. Communications lead. I need you to fact check that for me. His latest album is titled Kadosh. Guys, if you have not heard that song, I need you to go on Spotify. If you haven't heard that album, go on Spotify, go on iTunes, go on YouTube. But actually, I want you to buy it. So, you know, pay a few cents, like 99 cents, and get some of the songs on there, or pay the whole $12.99, $15.99. You can do it. That's like lunch. Okay, sometimes your lunch is more than that, and buy the whole album, please. It's out right now. Maestro is married to the beautiful, lovely Selassie. Ladies and gentlemen, you know I am long-winded. I am trying so hard to finish this intro real quick so we can have him in the room. And for those of you who just joined us, we welcome you. We see you. And we will acknowledge you very, very shortly. I need you to do what we always do. Say welcome to Minister Joe Mettle in your local dialect. I want him to read it. I want him to read it. Guys, what a wonderful, wonderful time. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi. Hi.
Wow, you are so incredible. It is so good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Oh my God. What an honor. What an honor. Guys, like we said before, today is Ask Joe a Question Day. He's here ready to hear questions from you. Questions. So get ready with your questions. I see a lot of people saying hello already. So let's see who is saying hello to Minister Joe Mettle. Our very able producer says, Wezo Efo Joe. Juliet says, Akwaba Joe Mettle. Pastor Teresa Lai says, Akwabo. Ryle says, Karibu Sana. This is why I love this show. We are all over Africa. It's incredible. It's incredible. I see you guys. Oh my God, some people brought French here. We don't like that. Okay, so we are ready with questions. But before we do that, I wanted to set the stage for those of you who do not know who Joe Mettle is. Again, shame on you. Shame on you. This is one of my favorite, absolute favorite songs by Minister Joe Mettle. I did not tell him I was going to do this, but this is what we do on To My Younger Self, right? We surprise our guests all the time. Today, we're going to be playing a lot of songs from Minister Joe Mettle, okay? Here we go. Minister, we'll be right back. By the time we come back, I know people have questions, so bear with me. And I am set and ready to see the surprise on your face when you see this is one of my favorites too. We will be right back with you. Bear with us one moment. And the internet always does that, right? At the very critical time that you need it to work, it says, nope, I do not want to work. All right, here we go.
is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me. Come on, everybody, lift your voice. This is the air I breathe. Everybody say, this is the air. This is the air I breathe. Yeah. But your word is my daily bread. Come on, somebody. This is my daily bread. It's your word that gives me life. It's your word that gives me breath. This is my daily bread. Your very word. Your very word. Spoken to me. Without your presence, Lord, and I, yeah. I'm so lost without you, Jesus. I'm so lost without you, Lord. If it's the air you breathe, lift your voice one more time. This is the air I breathe. Everybody say, yeah. This is the air. Deepens for the water, so my soul longs for you, and yeah.
Yes, you can hear us now. Minister Joe, Aquaba, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And we are starting off with the first question. Of course, you know she's going to be the first to ask a question, but she's like a groupie fan, just like me. Lady Abaketo Anda says, Joe, which artist have you really enjoyed collaborating with?
It's a good question. Never thought of that. Wow, that's a hard one. But I think what I would say is I've enjoyed working with everyone that I've had the opportunity to. But I probably would say one person that I really, really enjoyed, not that over, but then it's like always like a fresh memory is would be probably Nathaniel Bassi. I loved the Donny collabos too, and I'll keep going. So it means I love all of them, but I think I love these two collabos. And then in Tokozo, you see, that's the problem I have. but it's been a joy. Each one of them came with its own experience at the moment or the point that I got the opportunity to do something with them. Yeah.
Wow. You know, let me ask you, as I was watching this, and again, this is something that happened a couple of years ago, this particular ministration that we
maybe like 5 years ago.
Yes, but it is so fresh even now. As we were oh my God, we had such a hard time trying to figure out what to play because everything out so much. What were you feeling in that moment? Because I felt like you just did not know. You know, when you are so overwhelmed with God's goodness, you don't know what to say or do. And were you doing this live? Because I'm like, this guy's stagecraft. Did you even know you were there?
I think, how did I feel? You literally took the word out of my mouth. I think I was really overwhelmed. I was happy. Um, and I was feeling, what's the word? It was like a deja vu for me because I had spoken about this to some friends of mine before about like, oh, I can only imagine having to do songs like this with an orchestra. It would be so beautiful. And then a couple of years, maybe a year or two later, I get the call about this project. I was like, you guys should stop playing, And lo and behold, I realized it was happening. Proceedings went through and everything started running, and I was like, wow. So it took me a while to still get to that space to say that this is really happening. This is really happening. And it was a humbling experience for me, a joyous one, but I was grateful to God for allowing me walk in that space that time.
How long did it take for the rehearsals and deciding
Oh,
songs and all that?
it didn't take long. I think I was there. What? We had one rehearsal with the band, and then the day, the sound check, and then I think they knew that there wasn't enough time. So I remember, I think, we had like some rehearsal behind the scenes. So once, and then the next one was a run through on stage, and then the recording. That was it.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh my God. You would have thought you had at least 7-8 months for
No,
what you put out. That was
there wasn't enough time to do that.
Oh my God. That's how you know that's the Spirit of God right there. Let me tell you, the questions are flowing, and I'm over here putting in my own questions. Stop that, Zoe. Don't do that.
Let's do it.
So Juliet in the UK, she says, my question, when you've been praying for something, been specific about the request, and yet you have no answer from God, what do you do whilst you wait? Aye, Juliet. This is your question. Aye.
I would say that whilst you wait, you keep trusting Him. It's very important. Many times we've asked God things and we've not received based on doubt. So it's like asking somebody something and saying, even this thing I'm asking Him, He's not going to do it all, but let me still ask anyway.
Like we did yesterday.
Do not doubt, trust God, but at the same time, also prepare to receive what you're asking Him. Many times we also ask or place requests, but we do not put in place things that will help us receive it. Wow. So let's say somebody says, somebody wants, there's a skit that was produced by someone, and he kept praying to God about a job he needed at some huge tech company overseas, and he prayed and prayed and trusted God. He fasted, he waited. He said, God, let me receive. Guess what? Finally, the call came. But when the call came, they said, we need you to leave the country by tomorrow. So get your passport, get everything ready. Guess what? He's been praying about it, but he didn't have his passport ready.
Oh, my God.
But they needed him to leave immediately, like by the following morning. And he said that was impossible. He now needed to gather that. He now needed to. And they were like, well, sorry, if you can't come tomorrow, we may have to give the job to the next person available on the list. And so many times it's to say that whilst we wait, we need to be ready to receive. Whilst we wait, we need to trust Him for grace. Whilst we wait, wisdom to handle and walk in the blessing we are trusting Him to receive. That's what you do whilst you wait.
Wow. So since this is a storytelling platform, we're going to try to get stories out of you.
Yeah.
You give us a story where that happened, where you were praying and preparing, and then when the thing happened, it kind of merged.
So you know how like many people will say, oh, why did he just came out of nowhere? He just came out of nowhere. And I tell people, I did not come out of nowhere. years ago when I was trusting God to bring me to the place He had called me, what I did, like I always tell people, is I started praying first, waiting on my gifts. I did that for years whilst I waited. I did not know where He was taking me, but I didn't have to sit and just wait for, I'm asking God where, and then I would be waiting. I learned, I studied, I prayed, I spent time in God's presence. I studied God's word. I wanted to know Him. The next thing I did was I served. All this is whilst I was waiting for that time where God would usher me fully into the place He's called me. So whilst I waited, I served, I prayed, I watched others, I served others until it was time. So imagine, by the time it was my time, I had seen a lot, I had learned a lot, I had put inside of me a lot. And so it was just, okay, now I'm ready for this. And that is what I did, even for myself.
Wow. That is incredible. Thank you so much, Juliet. I know he answered the question, but yes, you can give us some follow-up questions. I know our producers are monitoring the questions and they're coming in really, really hot. Here's another question. The younger Joe Mettle is watching the current you in awe and disbelief. What would you say to him?
What would I say to him? I would say God did it. God did it, man. God did it. He kept His word. That's what I can say. Because you see, the younger self did not believe enough to say. In fact, the younger self believed that God was going to do it, but the younger self didn't think that God was going to do this much in this space of time.
Wow.
And that's why I'm telling the younger self God did it. I think there were many times where many times where God would say something and I'm like, are you sure? And the kind of doors He opened. Let me, you even asked me to correct one of those. The Stella Awards, it wasn't an award given me, but it was more like an honorary kind of thing. They honored to say they created a space. They called it African Artists with Special Sounds. It was like a category thing where based on that, they invited you specially to the awards, gave you everything, gave you access to red. And like the Stella Awards is the biggest gospel awards in the United States of America.
Yes.
So, even red carpet, your name need to be on the list. Unlike Ghana, like you dress well, you can show up on a red carpet. No. You were to be listed to go on the red carpet, give you access, special seats, all those things, just to allow you be part of the whole scheme, to understand what happens and to be acknowledged, those kind of things. And so that was what it was. So it wasn't like an award giving, so it won't be like a misleading statement or something like that. So that was what the Stella Awards was. And to get to that point, I'm like, you really outdid yourself, God. I don't know what you're trying to do, but I'm grateful for, picking someone like me out of nowhere and giving him grace enough to be able to walk the places that He's doing. And so that was what happened. So that's why I'll tell my younger self, listen, God really did it, like He said He would do.
Wow. He said what He said He would do, and He did it. And He did it. And with that, we're going to go and give you another surprise. I have to tell you guys, I'm a little biased on this show today because I kind of ended up settling. Ideas came and people gave suggestions, but I was like, nope, I like this one. I like that one. So we're going to go and give another, we're going to take another medley or another one that I personally absolutely love. It's a danceable one. And it's just so incredible. Bear with us. And please keep the questions coming. And I know our communication lead, you're here. Please, just so I do not miss it, can you put it on the private chat so I see it? Or you can also send it on the producer's platform that we have so that I can see the question so we do not miss it whilst we're doing all of this. This is incredible. All right. And this is an example of doing things on the go, right? We were not prepared for Minister Joe Mettle. I cannot lie. Okay. All right. Here we go. This is one of my absolute favorites.
Everybody, put your hands together. Come on. 1, 2, yeah. Let's go. Woo! Yeah. Ha-ha. You ready, everybody? 1, 2, 3, here we go. They that wait upon the Lord say, shall renew their strength. This amount of with wings. Yeah. Say it again. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew this amount of with wings. They that they shall. Say it again. They that wait upon the Lord, they shall. Everybody say, hey, I am say. Hey, I am. Hey, I, hey, I. Hey, I, hey, I. Hey, I, hey, I. So they got say, they that wait, say, they that wait upon the Lord, say, shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like an eagle. They that wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord, shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings. Oh my, like an eagle. They shall run and not grow weary. They will walk. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. They that wait upon the Lord. They shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk and will not faint. They that wait. Say it again. They shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk and not worry. They that wait. Everybody say, hey, I say. Hey, it's a song of victory. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah.
Oh my goodness. You guys just look like you were having so much fun.
Oh
And
yes,
we
yes,
normally do
yes,
like
yes.
30 seconds of when we're, showcasing an
Mm.
artist's craft. In your case,
So,
we could not stop. So we let the
so I
whole
was
thing play.
wondering why. Yeah, I was wondering why you were playing all of it.
We were like, no, this song, we just have to give our audience a fun time today, just really going in praise and worship. We're playing entire songs. We couldn't stop. Where do you stop? It's rude to stop in the middle of a song like that. But there's a couple of questions here. But before
Okay.
we go to them, how did you come by this song? It's one of my favorite Bible verses. But talk to us about that process.
You know how like somebody asked about waiting? It was one of those experiences where I felt that it was time for us to even wait more than we normally do. I wrote this song by God's grace during the pandemic, and many people were worried about many things, but I also thought that it was a good time to wait on God. It was a good time to spend alone with God. That song came from the album The Experience, and I think most of the songs were written during the pandemic, and that's why I called it The Experience. And so the waiting song embodied the whole process of strength being renewed, and it was like once things settled down a little bit, it was like I was ready. Strength has been renewed, and so I believe that there was strength enough to do something new, to go on to what God has asked me to do. So that was the whole concept of that particular song.
Wow, that explains all that joy that was there.
Yeah,
My
it was like finally we get to come outside
and hang out.
I know.
Here's
a lot.
another question for you, Joe. What is your songwriting process like?
Songwriting process, I would say I write differently at different times, different experiences. It starts first from the word. There are times you're just reading a verse or a passage and a revelation hits you, you want to talk about it or you write about it. There are times I just receive it without having to write or do anything. It just comes to you, randomly. Yeah, and sometimes it's too detailed.
So do you
There was
park your car or like whatever you do?
Oh, I always do my phone voice record and then I take my time later to work on it. So sometimes I can be like, so there are times I can be in a service and I'm receiving a song and I'm recording, and in the middle of the service it's so loud. So I struggle to later when I listen, it's like the service was also loud. So I'm trying to hear what I was singing on the phone. Because at that split moment, I don't want to miss what I'm also hearing in my spirit. So it comes in different ways. I think there are times too that I receive them out of dreams. Yes,
Which song did you receive out of a dream, for example?
I had a song back in the day. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. It was like that was like a trance, for instance. That was like I felt the heavens open unto me, and I was hearing like a host of angels singing it. So I remember very well after I called certain friends, I was like, bro, have you heard this song? Because it was too real and too straightforward that I wanted to be sure it's not somebody's song that I'm singing.
Right.
Normally you have a song and you're trying to fix it, but this one was just flowing. There's a song I had, Fa Monsieur, Fa Monsieur, Fa Monsieur, what a banasi. That was a real, like a complete dream where I was going somewhere and I heard it was like a lot of women. You know how like they're like a women ministry or like this camp meeting, and they kept saying, and it's like we're crying out to God that God should hide them. God hide us. And it was so intense, it drew me closer. So I looked and realized who they were. Like they were plenty with white scarves, and they were crying to God to hide them. And in fact, I was crying when I woke up from the dream. I was still crying, and it was one of the times I thank God I did not forget the song. sometimes you wake up and you're like, where is this song? Like it's gone. But I was like, no, I'm not going to forget this one. And so that was how that came about. And you won't believe it. I remember when I was on my way to the studio, I said, I can't sing this song always in Chi. It was so intense. I wanted it in English. So I thought that I was translating it. God rather gave me a whole different song with the same message, but came out in a different way. There's a song I have. It says, in your secret place where I'll be safe. In your presence, Lord, I'll be secure. Let no harm befall me, and no weapon formed against me prosper. Hide me in the shadow of your wings. So I wrote this by trying to translate that Famisie song, and this one took a whole different turn. But I allowed it, and it became a whole different song. So it's in different spaces, different times. There are times you just say, I want to write about this topic, and you also write. That too has its moments. But I do get songs in different veins, yeah.
Wow. And I'm wondering now that the one with the dream with the women, did you do a music video of that? Because I'm envisioning you doing a music video based on that dream.
You know, I really, really, really haven't done that song.
Oh my God. We call dibs on that.
Yeah, even the I have one that was released, but it was really short because during my live recording, I had in mind to release the main studio version we've done. And even though I had in mind to release that studio version, during the recording of one of our major concerts, I decided to teach the congregation. And then when we finished the recording, I realized that small time I was teaching them and singing with them, it was beautiful, but it was so short. It was like 1 minute, 40 seconds or something. So on my album is really short.
Wow.
And that was the one that we used. So I haven't even officially released that full song yet.
Oh my God. Now I'm like, why didn't we get that one?
Yeah, so
Wow. There's so many questions, but it looks like between Juliet and Abba, they're having a competition right now. We want to ask Joe all the questions we wished we could ask him in person. So Juliet says, second question, there is a view that serving God has become a business. It's always about the Lord loves a cheerful giver in churches. What would you say to change that perspective for those who are missing out on fellowship in church because of this? Hey, shame. This woman came today. I love it.
I mean, I would say keep the fellowship. It's only in fellowship with God that we build a relationship and more understanding of God and receive revelations out of it. As for the other things, it would always be there. There's nothing we can do about it. It's the times we live in. Many people will talk about many things that do not necessarily edify the body. But at the same time, it's not to sway us also away from the main purpose why we are there. Some things may be distractions, but we should not allow them to distract us. And that is why it's important that every believer, every Christian, know God for themselves, even to be able to sense when something or an instruction given them is from God or not from God. There are many times a leader can give you an instruction, but because you are also deeply rooted in the things of God and connected to the Holy Spirit the way you are supposed to, you will know in your heart when it's supposed to be done and when it's not supposed to. And no church, no minister can push anyone or force anyone to do something that they don't want to do, especially when they don't feel led by the Spirit of God to do it. It's not disobedience. It's just that you will not have to do it. That is the reason why, like you're saying, it is called to the whole congregation, but no one can be pushed to do it if they don't want to. But the most important thing I would say is these are the times that we need to know God for ourselves. These are the times that we ourselves need to develop a good or a standing relationship with him by ourselves, to know his voice ourselves, to know his word ourselves, to hear the Spirit of God ourselves, to discern these deadly and trying times. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Juliet, I know that you got the answer you're looking for. Baba says, I think Baba is saying, have you ever been upset with God or experienced a period in your life where you didn't feel close to God? What did you do? We're getting personal now.
When I didn't feel close to God, I found my way back. Like Job, I don't think I've ever come to a point where I've questioned God.
Wow.
Like we were sharing yesterday, every situation that I go through, I believe the hand of God is in it. He allowed it, and sometimes there's something he wants me to know. You see, there's God in everything we go through, only if we would look harder or, trust him that he knows what he's doing. We will find him in every situation we go through, whether good, whether bad, whether ugly. And, we're sharing how, what's your favorite scripture yesterday? And I told them that my favorite scripture is Romans 8:28 that says all things, every single situation, work together for the good of them that love the Lord. Many times, whether it would work together for our good or not, we should question ourselves whether we really love God. And one that loves God never questions God or blames God. Love does not hold grudges or any record of wrong. So I don't believe that if I love God enough, I would blame him for saying that, why did you do this to me? Why did you allow this to happen to me? It says, for the good of them that love the Lord, not only that, but are called according to his purpose. That everything that happened in my life, or every situation that I go through, anything that happens in my life, I believe it's part of God's purpose for me. And so I ask God, what do you want me to learn? What are you trying to show me? Irrespective of what is happening to me, I still trust you. And I know you know what you're doing. I will still hold on to his word. I will still hold on to his promise. Though he slayed me, like Job said, yet will I trust him. The more, because some of the things are tests unto us. And then sometimes we fail by giving up on him because things become difficult, because things fall apart, because prayers that we trusted him to do, our answer, he did not. So when things get to that point, I never judge God. I never test God. I never ask God questions. What I rather ask is, what are you trying to show me? What do you want me to learn? And in that trying time, I receive strength to be able to keep going and to keep trusting him.
Wow. Tell me.
And over the years, I've seen him come through every single time. Sometimes not when I expect him to, but he still comes through at the end of the day.
Wow. So you just catapulted me into the question that I personally want to ask you. And I guess because I'm a storyteller, I'm really looking for a personal story from you of which of your songs did you bear out of a place of, for lack of a better word, a place of, God, I don't know where you're taking me, but I'm going to sing a song anyway. Which of your songs has it been, and what story is behind that song?
I would say a song in the Tree dialect called Owa Weni Yes Nyamia. Oh yo when I mean, the lyrics alone will tell you that I was like, there's nothing too hard for the Lord. So I get it. Things may not be going my way, but I've seen God use a day to turn somebody, in fact, a minute to turn somebody's life around. Even my own life, many times when I thought that all things were just crumbling on me, I saw God come through. So if he's done it in my life before, this present or current situation too, I trust him enough to know that he'll come through. And so out of that, birth out that song that there's nothing too hard. It says, it means wonderful God. And I sang it over and over and over, trusting him to come through in that particular instance. And God just came through when he wanted to, when he thought it was the right time.
I don't want to pry, but I'm going to push a little bit. What exactly was going on?
Oh, many things. I think I had to believe God for a hard thing. A typical example around that time I remember was when I had to come to the United States to do something. And many times people are like, oh, these are not things you pray for. If you deserve it, they will give it to you. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. And I love this statement. I don't know why God gave it to me one time, but we always don't get what we receive as children of God. Many times it's the favor of God, it's the grace of God.
No,
If
go
you can
back and say that. We don't get what we receive.
we always don't deserve what we receive as children of God. Many times we do not deserve it, but He gives us those gifts anyway. So if you're like, you know how sometimes people are so entitled to say, I deserve this. I don't deserve this. But I love the fact that He gave it to me. I will enjoy it. You understand? And that is what makes me appreciate the fact that I did not do this by myself. But God favored me. And I said it yesterday that, you see, if you can explain how you got to where you are and how you've been able to do the things you've done, then there hasn't been any work of grace. You did it all by yourself. But when you know that you can't explain it, when you know you can't put your finger exactly on how this happened, that is when you know that there has been the work of grace in your life.
Wow. Wow.
You know.
Wow. Wow. And with that, we're going to go and take another song. There's yes, I know.
I see you came prepared.
I came prepared because you know what? We were like, I think also the other thing what we were thinking about is we didn't prepare Minister Joe enough. He doesn't know that this is a storytelling platform. It was a question and an answer, and then it was boom. And obviously you're busy, so we said let's come in and have fun and try to ask questions that way. So we're gonna go and get another song, and then when we come back, we would have more questions. Uncle Fisho is here. You're welcome, Uncle Fisho. Uncle Fisho wants to know. Richard Akwe School old student. Welcome, Joe.
Oh, wow. You are. Amazing.
Uncle Fisho is the foremost DJ in the United States and the world, if you ask me. I'm telling you, if you have not been on music for your quarantine feet, you better go. Okay, I'm becoming Joe's manager at the moment. So we need to get him on music for your quarantine feet. That's easy because my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. We're gonna come back and we'll ask some more questions. We'll be right with you guys. Okay, I think we like this one.
Machonyegbe aji machonyeji akafu machonyenuse awado nambawu esiai machonyegbe aji machonyeji akafu machonyenuse awado nambawu esiai for my way, machonye nuse awado for my way, oh machonye nuse awado namawu esiai.
We had to definitely cut that one short.
Yeah, that's okay.
Because we were like, if we let it go, I think the reason why we chose this is because the elderly women were having so much fun with the song.
I know.
Before we go to producer's question, do you speak very fluently?
Not really. I just have my few words. I can.
So how did you do this one?
I had to learn it.
Wow.
I had to learn it. So they gave me the words, they gave me the song. I had to run over and over so I don't miss anything. And unfortunately for me, around that time, I was so busy, I couldn't make enough time to learn it. In fact, I remember very well they started the event around 5 p.m. As at like 2, I was already there. I was in my car. I played it over and over just so I get the words right. I don't miss anything. It was a tough call. People thought, oh wow, he said, but
Yes,
they
because
have
I'm
no
like,
idea.
my goodness, look at
Because I
that.
didn't have enough time. I knew maybe 1 or 2 of the songs already. Because they were the same people that sort of like helped me to learn it. Because I went to that church once in a while to do stuff with them, and so because they were more of an ever-based church, they once in a while would teach me a new song. But this was a lot, and if you think this is a lot, you have to wait till you hear their recent one. It was a lot. I
Wow.
was learning. Like I have to put all these words in my head.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah. But I like it. I love that challenge to help me learn something new and improve as well on, some areas that I didn't have strength in.
That is incredible. My goodness. You see what we're talking about, the stagecraft? I mean, he sat in his car from 2 to 5, and he was just learning these words that he did not know how to say and all kinds of stuff. That is incredible. Wow. See, I have a personal request. I haven't heard you
Okay.
in my
In the northern language.
Yes, I'm looking for
Yeah,
one.
I've heard it. I've heard that a few
I'm
times.
looking for one seriously. So
I'm sure one day we'll do someone like that.
right, let's
When
get
God gives us the
universal.
grace.
Yes, even though Hausa is not my mother tongue, let's get universal.
I love Hausa. I think I
Really?
love when people just
Ah,
when people speak it, especially when sometimes they take it's sweet. It's sweet.
see, I wish I spoke fluently so that I could
You don't speak Hausa?
not fluently. I speak it, but not
Oh.
fluently. So I have
Okay.
the basics, but not the proper Nigerian.
Like
kind
which
of
one?
Hausa.
Like which one?
Well, the real Hausa. When you go to Nigeria, for example, you cannot understand anything they're saying because they're the real Hausa people. The ones we speak mostly in Ghana is not the correct Hausa.
But there are a few people in Ghana who actually speak the
yes,
correct one.
exactly.
Yeah.
But then you have to go to the north for that, and I am like
For that.
north / Accra / other places.
Oh, okay.
Hausa
Makes
is
sense.
not the same. So
Makes
yeah,
sense.
wow, you just turned on me, and I became the
I know.
But there's a question for you. When you're creating music, what comes first, the lyrics or the melody?
It depends. But most of the time I do them both.
Mm.
I don't like separating them. I think when I can do, by God's grace, with the gift, create music either with just lyrics or with melody. I'm able to do that. But it's easy for me when I do both at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah. So if I have to do a song, I would rather do both and then keep fixing both of them at the same time. So that's me.
That's it right there. We're going through to see if there are any other questions. Let's see. No. These are all just comments. Well, while we're waiting for more questions to come in, and guys, you don't get this just to get it. Okay, so ask him all the questions that you. And I don't want to hug the questions because I have a lot that I have written here, but I'm like, let's give people a chance to just kind of ask him questions they've always wondered. This Joe Mettle crowd. What? I want to ask him this question. But let's see. Let's read a few comments from people and find out why. Let's see. Not sure I missed this, but did Joe share his story? Who is Joe Mettle? Where is he from? What's his background? Please tell us your story. The story of the person, Joe Mettle. A rebel you came. Thank you. Now you can.
Okay. My full name is Joseph Oscar Niama Mettle. I'm a Ghana, eldest of 6. I hail from the Jamestown, Ase, to be precise. Where am I from? Okay, so that's background. My story. My story is a Ghana boy who God called, graced with a gift didn't know what was going to happen to my life. Because of where I came from, there was a status quo, like how you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to grow, what you were supposed to become, literally. And but then I thought that God had a bigger plan for me than what was laid down for me by where I was coming from, or my background. And so it was a big struggle from school, dropping out. Like I said, somebody came to say I went to Richard Akwe Memorial School. Later we moved. I went to St. Michael's and All Angels, Anglican. I went to Kologono 3 JSS. Or it was just all Saito, back and forth. I mean, nobody even expected anything good would come out. I couldn't afford to go to senior high. So I went to a technical institution, studied draftsmanship to want to become an architect, because I couldn't go straight as well. I did every work I could lay my hands on, work with my mother, sold many things. We sold leaves for selling food, canes, kerosene. At a point in time, I was selling recharge cards. That was when SIM cards came into the system. I did a little of those laborer jobs on sites, because, me now, I said I wanted to be a draftsman, but at a point, things were slow. So I had to join the laborers, try to do a bit of here and there. I lived with people, tried to work for them. Followed music at a point in time because I loved that too. So it became a thing. Back and forth, lived everywhere. I've lived in Burma camp. I've lived in Abosokai. I've lived in everywhere you can ever imagine. Till where I am today, So there was a hard part until I got to a point where I knew that it was a call, and I needed to stop running around trying to make everything work, but rather concentrate on the one that has called me, wait on the gift. Irrespective of what I went through, had to just wait, stop moving about, stop running around and trying to find answers at places that didn't have the answers that I sought, until waiting and God properly aligning my steps to where He wanted me to go and receiving proper direction. And after everything, I went back to school again when I could do it, and then finished, still went back into the ministry, and I'm giving you like a compact version. And today here we are.
Wow. And yes, you're absolutely right, Rabold. We went into it a little bit in his introduction, but we wanted the questions to draw out the stories, because again, this happened so fast. It was really like such a sudden turn. We did not have time. So this is to my younger self eating it, because and collecting our faces from the floor, because normally we would prep or have dry runs with our guests, and we have dry runs every week, by the way, just so you guys know. And we did not get to have a dry run with Minister Joe to prep him to come here with specific stories like we normally have. And so we left it as an open-ended session where we can just have questions and answers, and hoping that the questions will draw out the stories, and you just did that. And so we want to say thank you to you for that incredible question. Thank you so much, Minister Joe. Here is another question for you. My communications director just moved that. Thank you. Joe, what's your message to the younger generation who want to make music ministry their main livelihood? And do tell us a little bit about your journey to marriage. I'm using my big sister privileges, and she has her laugh.
I would say the first thing is the focus is not to make it a livelihood necessarily. I mean, livelihood, I get what you mean, but the first thing is to understand the purpose of why God has called you. And I always say this, that when God also calls a person, He first calls them to Himself before He sends them out there to walk in the purpose for which He called them. What our assignment is to speak of the God we've come to know.
Yes.
So how are we able to speak of Him when we do not know Him? And so the first thing I will say is get to know God more. If you want to do this properly, understand him more. When you know him more, the more revelation of him you receive, the more you are able to speak in depth about him. And so indirectly, I can say that I don't get tired of ministering or writing, and because every time there's a new revelation of God you receive and you're able to speak. And sometimes the revelation may not be in what you say about him necessarily, but in the melody of how you say it about him.
Wow.
So not always does it come out of words, but sometimes it comes out of the depth of expression, you know, because I can just say, he's my friend, he's my God. But each time the way I say it, you know, spans out of a new revelation of him I've received, of he being my God. So you realize that each time people would hear it and they're like, I've heard you say this before, but it sounds different this time. Because it's coming from a new depth of revelation of the same word, but new depth of it. So it's like if it was a well, and probably the first time it was like 6 feet, the next time it was probably 10 feet or 12 feet. You realize that you feel the fall deeper than you felt the first time I pushed you in the same well. And that is the revelation of it. And it helps as an individual for you to go deeper and deeper, and you're able to. And so this is my thing. Over the years, one of the things I've done in my life is to tell stories. Many people ask me, oh, so how do you make all these things? How do you make these numbers? I'm like, oh, I never think about things like that. It has never been a thing I think about. But the most important thing is I think about what God intends to do with each project. Because I believe that there's a mind of God concerning every individual project we do. Because if the songs were given by him, then he had a purpose for giving it to you. Remember, we spoke about the scripture called according to his purpose. So every step, every major advancement you do is about what he intends to do or achieve. So this is then what happens. If I'm able to catch the mind of God concerning each project, when the mind of God is established, he would also take care of what he intends to do for me. He says, seek first his kingdom and his righteousness. First his kingdom. It comes to play at this too, that if I seek the mind of the kingdom and what God intends to do, all other things that I am trusting in for will be added. So let me give you a typical example. If my song blesses you, you will stream it, right?
Yes. Many times.
Because it blessed you, because it spoke to your needs, because it did what God intended to do in your life with the song. Because I couldn't have done anything about it myself. I was just a vessel. But when you are blessed, you stream it. When you are blessed, you buy it. When you buy it, then the resources I'm also trusting God to receive. First, waiting to receive what God intended to do for you, I receive my blessing as well. But if I ignore your need and go after what I want to receive, I've missed the point in the first place. So my blessing or resources is not as important as seeking God or the mind of God concerning your need. That's it.
Wow. Thank you so much for that answer. It clarifies a lot for me as a person who is also just, I'm a baby child. Is that a word? Yes, I decided it's a word. I'm a baby child in this particular arena. We have a question from our Facebook user, and we know who this is. Do you plan on having a music company? And I think that you do when we said it in your introduction. But I played this question because the latter part of the question says, will you bring other songwriters together? That's something
it's something I'm still working on. I want to do it right. The first thing is I have a music company by God's grace. It's called Reverb Studios. It's a music company that deals in rentals of equipment, studio productions. So we've done quite a number of productions, and then also recently we're also firming up our artist management and production side as well. So By God's grace, we've signed 2 artists so far, which we're yet to properly unveil at the appropriate time, and many things. So yeah, and then I'm working on, by God's grace, having like songwriting camps and things. So we should be starting that very soon. So yeah.
Oh, wow. I was about to ask that question. Writing on this question, is Luigi McLean part of that?
Yes. Luigi is on my label.
Is on your label, exactly. I was gonna ask because you always wonder, wait, these guys, are they singing together or separate?
No, see,
there's a
so Luigi sings separately by himself as a minister of the word, but at the same time he's signed on my label. And so whenever you check out the song, you realize you see the Reverb Studios logo on it. So yes, so I get the privilege of most of the time producing most of his stuff as well, and as we speak currently, he's still in the studio, cooking some amazing music and all that. Yeah.
Wow. We wish him well, and thank you for answering that. So I have a personal question. This was when we were doing the research. I'm gonna play this very short video and ask you a question based on that. And so guys, we'll be right back. This is another one of Joe's, his stagecraft that just, we were up yesterday. Personally, I was up till about 1:32 because I kept saying, look at that stagecraft. And sometimes you get so caught up in things that you don't, you don't realize time is going. But here, this particular video, we'll be right back, guys. We'll be right back. Wow. Now here's my personal question. I hear Donnie McClurkin. He turns around and he says, Joe, sing. He does that thing that he likes to do. And I'm singing. I'm thinking, was he prepared for that, or did he just go in? What happened there?
So what happened was when we went for the sound check and the dress rehearsal and everything, I left before he came. Because I came to do mine earlier. So it was like, where's Joe? Nobody told me. And so they raised the song, and he said, Tokozo, come, like Mahalia, and then he called my name. I was like, what? But I didn't know that the two had already rehearsed, and I had no idea what was gonna happen. So when he asked me, and he just didn't, he asked me to sing first. I was like, bro, what are you trying to do? And the key was high.
Yes.
It was so high. I was like, God, give me grace to do this. Not here, not in South Africa. I can't come and throw bomb here. But God was gracious, and it turns out so when I opened my mouth, it was actually the first, like, I'm singing it. It was my rehearsal and my singing and everything at the same time.
At the same time.
I had no idea what was going to come out of my mouth. I was like, you know what?
God.
All I knew was I can't mess up right now. I have to get this right. And so, but thankfully it came out great.
Oh my God. That was, again, guys, like we're saying, that was the prowess right there, that stagecraft. And I think I sensed it. I said, no, this guy was just thrown into the curveball. I don't think he knows what hit him, but look how you took it and run. And the moment you opened your mouth, the crowd went wild. Like going, oh my God. So I just kept editing it, and I'm like, no, I have to ask him if this is something he was prepared for.
No, I had no idea.
What did you tell him after? Were you like?
I was like, you can't do me like that, bro. And he said, it worked.
Wow. Okay, here's the third question for you. What made you decide your wife was the one for you? Was it a dream, spiritual intuition, or another weight from God? Juliet came.
I think you know that thing where they say it's cliche, but you saw the person you need. That was going to be my wife. I think I saw her. I sensed in my spirit, this is your wife. I was like, no. And then I passed.
Wow.
I left, but I couldn't leave. I kept coming back, so till finally she was my wife. That's
you just put that whole story. That's a summary.
But I kept going back and forth a bit on it. I didn't even talk to her. I didn't approach her. I didn't say anything. I was like, no, what if, okay. But I couldn't shake the feeling that this was it. I needed to go back and find ways to talk to her. It was hard for me, but I spoke to her. And,
so how did you give her the raps? Was it in song?
It was a whole. I think I always say that it's a story that one day I probably would tell. But I spoke to her. I mean, we were friends. We spoke for a while, but I never gave the impression that this was what it was for me. But even from the beginning, I knew. Till the right time, I was like, hey, I've been praying about this, and I'm convinced that this is what it's supposed to be. And so we spoke about it for a while, and here we are.
And luckily, she said yes. Lucky you.
Oh, lucky me.
Wow. How long were you guys friends for?
Maybe slightly over a year.
Okay. So you move fast then?
I think, you see, for me too, it was something I battled with a bit, whether it was the right call or not, or whether it was just my feelings, or if this was something God really wanted me to do. And so it took a while for me. But people meet others, and in like 6 months or so, and they're like, let's go.
Yeah, no, I can't understand those people, but God bless them.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. So it's a mixture of everything. Yes, it was a mixture of everything. Nakoa has a question for you. Does music as a career influence your worship of God? Because there's the entertainment factor. How does that influence worship?
That's why it's important to have like a core foundation of what influences what you do. It's very, very important, because the industry would always dictate how things should be run. The industry will always dictate how you should do things. The industry will always dictate your decisions. But when your core mandate is firm, it doesn't matter how the industry pushes you or dictates, you will still have your values intact. I mean, I've had to deal with many things. Sometimes, why are you doing this? This is not how it's supposed to be done. But I'm like, I also sense how God wants me to do it. I'll give you a typical example. When I won Artist of the Year, I got people bashing me left, right, center.
Wait, what?
No, in the sense that you are wasting the award when people win. This is what they do. And I remember one interview, I told the guy, I said, listen, boss, before the year started, God gave me a vision and a direction. I won't change it because I'm now the Artist of the Year.
Wow.
Because I believe that he, being all-knowing, knew that it was part of what was going to happen to me before he even gave me these directions. And so I believe he knew it. So the only thing I can do is even do it better than I had planned. But to say I'm changing it, I'm not. And it was actually that year that God gave me Bononi.
Wow.
So my thing was, if I had just followed the fact that, okay, this is how the systems intends for me to do, and I just left everything behind and followed, I would have messed up, but I kept it. There's a thing I always tell people, that when the heart is convinced, it's impossible to confuse the mind.
Whoa. Communications guy, can you please put that up there? We want to blow it up. Please say that.
When the heart is convinced, it's impossible to confuse the mind. Because you see, many times the confusion and the battle starts in the mind. But when that mandate or direction is deeply rooted in the heart, no matter what you do to the mind, the heart will always pump some sense into the mind to say, remember where this was coming from. So these thoughts will always come. The thought of confusion will always come, but the heart will keep the anchor intact. So that was it for me. So no matter what was happening, I was never pushed around. I was never confused. I knew what I was doing. I knew what God had told me, and I held on to that word and that promise, and I ran with it. And it always pans out to, what God wants to do. Yeah.
My goodness, that answer though. When the heart is convinced, it's impossible to confuse the mind. I think that's a quotable quote, and that's something that we should just start hashtagging all around on the internet and just blow it up, because I don't know why, but it just speaks so much to me. Meaning that if you don't know what your real purpose is or what the intent of God is for you, you will always be confused. And that's why there's a lot of young people out there who want to do business today, and then they say, no, cryptocurrency is the thing. Suddenly they're doing crypto. And then they will say, no. Now the internet people, who are those people? The tech guys. And then
the NFL.
Yes, right. And then they're running to the tech. And then they're saying, no. If your heart is convinced, and I was just having a talk with a young lady the other day, and I said, I was very hungry. It was like 6 p.m. I hadn't eaten all day. But I would rather stand here and talk to you for another 5 hours. Do you know why? Because I know my purpose in life is this, talking. I can talk for 10 hours and drink a cup of tea. And I'll keep saying it. I'm very hungry. But the hunger will not hit until I am done talking. What is your purpose? And what is the intent of God? Thank you so much for saying that. This is incredible. And now I know the questions are zooming in, and we're trying to wrap up because I know Minister has to go. He has a very tight schedule. And before you go, I would like for you to tell us what is happening in New York. Because I know you're coming to New York. What is
Yes, I'm supposed to be in New York. I think there's a church, I think ICGC. I'm supposed to be ministering at ICGC in New York. I'm supposed to know the whole details. Can you imagine? I'm still trying to. But ICGC in New York, God willing, on Saturday. On Saturday, yes. This is terrible.
Wow. Which tells you again, you're in it for the songs and you're in it for the worship experience. So they give the detail. There's people taking you there. You're getting ready. But I saw a T-shirt that said, God is my producer. Because I'm a T-shirt person, and I'm definitely getting that shirt. God is my producer. Right. God is your producer. You just show up and then say, God, I'm here.
I just show up. But I know it's ICG's in New York. I think that the main one in New York. The main one in New York, yes.
So Uncle Eko says, Joe has been on, and I think he's trying to say, Joe has been on Music for Your Quality Feet. So there it is. I have another song. Actually, I have 2 songs more that I want to play, and then we're going to go. But this one is my danceable. Every time I'm very, very happy, okay? And there's some things happening in the peripheral. So I've been playing this song a lot, and I thought I would not have done it justice if I didn't play this song. And we're not going to play the whole song. Well, you know what? Yeah, I think I promised we're not playing the whole song, but we'll see. And we'll be right back. Let's see, where is it? Let's see, where is it? There we go.
Yeah. Jesus, you're my everything, yeah. everything is you, Lord. Yeah. Ha-ha. Oh, 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 oh. Everybody say, ah. Say, oh, oh. Say, how can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? Words are not enough, to say thank you. Say, Lord, you are my everything. You're my everything. How can I express my gratitude? How can I express my gratitude for all the many things, Father, you done for me, yeah. Words are not enough to say thank you. Say, Lord, you are, you're my everything. Say, I call you Zion. Lord, my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my battle. I call you Rapha. Hey. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are. You're my everything. I call you Jireh. Lord, my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my battle. I call you Rapha. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are. You are. You're my everything. Uya matinyina. Uya matinyina. Uya matinyina. Oh, uya matinyina. Yeah, so uya. Uya matinyina. Uya matinyina. Yeah. Uya matinyina. Oh, uya matinyina. Say, I call you Jireh, say. I call you Jireh. Lord, my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my battle. I call you Rapha. Hey. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are my everything. Yeah. Are you ready, everybody? All right.
Okay, we had to cut it short, but we're back. Did I see Giovanni Ilolo in there doing a cameo in this video? Joe, can
Who?
you hear me? Was that Giovanni I saw in
Yeah, that was Giovanni. That was Giovanni.
You know, I said I have watched this video many, many times. For some reason, I guess because we were editing and you had to be very, very, sharp. I said, no, that's Giovanni right there. This boy
Yeah,
is doing a cameo, and I,
that's Giovanni, my
oh
guy.
my
Giovanni,
God.
yeah.
Oh, I love it. Oh, well, hey, yes, Sumaya, yes, we're manifesting a live session. Yes, one day, very, very soon, we're going to be, right now, what we're going to do is, I think our producer, please tell me, I know our producers are here. Our producers always tell us who is going to be on our storytelling master session that we're definitely planning. So is Joe going to be on the storytelling master session? We want to hear from you, Madam Producer. I saw one other question, and I think we will be done. The questions are coming in so much. I think that our comment section crashed twice already, by the way, guys. So this is crazy. That has never happened before. And let's see, let's find it. All right, one last question. Silly question here. Auntie Doris says, do you ever lose your voice temporarily? Temporarily. God, I can't say
Temporarily.
that word. Yes. And what do you, or I guess she's trying to say, what is
Oh, I've heard people ask me that question a lot. I do. I think I do once in a while. It's rare, but I do. I sometimes when maybe like I go somewhere and like I strain because maybe the sound and all those things. There are times I have lost my voice, but it's funny. I have a very unique gift that God gave me with my voice. So even if that happens, I'm still able to sail through.
Wow.
It may not sound like as crisp as it normally does, but it works. because I have a bit of a husky
Yes,
voice,
there's a
you
husky.
might, yeah, so I have to maybe change the key I work with and all that to still make me deliver. So sometimes, but I do lose my voice once in a while. But mine too is once that happens, I just need to rest. And once I rest, I get to recover.
Wow. Wow. One of our biggest donors, Auntie Rose Machayo Roper, she says, this gentleman truly flows with God, such humility and obedience in allowing the leading of the Holy Spirit on his life and everyday decisions, great anointing on his life. He truly lives by his inner man. Thanks, Zoe, for bringing him on TMYS. I mean, I'm not going to even try to take credit for this one. I can't even say that we brought him onto my younger self. I think God blew him in. Again, God just knowing, and he just blew him in. That's how that happened. It has been such an incredible morning, Minister Joe. Thank you for your yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow. This has
Thank you
been
so much
good.
for having me.
And I don't know if you've had such nosy audiences before, but our audience is very nosy. The questions are so whenever you get a moment and you think you have a few seconds to spare and you want to just answer some questions, please feel free to do so. There's one last song I'm going to play. This is going to be our closing song because it just speaks so much about Africa. And speaking about Africa, I have on my cue cards here, congratulations to everyone, all of the Africans who were competing in the Commonwealth Games. Incredible, incredible prowess. The Ghanaians, the Nigerians, we're so sorry to hear about what happened with some of the Ghanaian athletes. But you know what? There's always next year, and we'll do it better. So congratulations to all the winners and those who did not. I'm not going to use the word win. Those who didn't make it as far as they thought they wanted to. There's always, always, always room to improve, right? So congratulations again to you guys. We truly, truly appreciate and admire you. Thank you for putting Africa on the map because that's what we're here doing, telling positive African stories to put Africa on the map for God's glory, most importantly, for God's glory, right? Because we are God's continent. We know that. We know that. Listen, guys, if you are in Ghana, we want you to patronize a few people. You don't even have to be in Ghana. Just reach out to them. They'll find you. They'll find a way to send you their stuff. Kua is one of Ghana's designers that I absolutely love. We want you to find them and patronize Kua, which is keeping us authentic. Of course, there's Wear Ghana, who is, and I've not been doing such a great job of it. I think in some ways I'm like Joe. I would rather be talking than selling things, and I don't want to advertise the talking. It's crazy, right? But Wear Ghana and To My Younger Self teamed up, and so we have a few apparels here in the United States. And if you're looking for Wear Ghana apparels, you can find it on To My Younger Self. Again, we're working on the details, we promise. Of course, during the week, if you're looking for shows that you want to indulge in, just kind of unwind and get to know new people, there's Humanity Chats with Margie Marge. We have Music for Your Quality Feet. Yes, every Sunday by Uncle A Coffee Show. Collateral is also here in Manhattan. M. Sims by Mabel Simpson, of course, in Ghana, but she's also touring the United States at some point, and I think she toured Europe too. Of course, Ryle by Design, incredible Kenyan designer. For those of you who are, especially in New York, looking for someone who would, you know how in Africa, we have people that actually measure you and sew to fit. If you're looking for a person who will do that to a T, quality work, then you're looking for Ryle by Design. She's coming out of Nyack, New York. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. She's done a few things for me, and I've always won them with pride. And when you do call her, and I think Ryle, please do me a favor, if you're watching, put your details in the comment section. Please just mention Zoe sent you. I don't know if it'll affect the pricing, but maybe, who knows, right? Avonzige of bridal, she's a bridal designer in Ghana. So those of you who are getting married, please reach out to Avonzige. Kiss and Credo by our incredible Nana Sapon, the person we call Kwabna Yesu, on To My Younger Self. Of course, Horseman Shoes, and my big brother himself, Nana Aredamwa, and his book Nook. Joe, I think I should ask you, when is the book coming out?
Oh, the book. You've asked some question, eh? I'm hoping to finish by the end of the year, and so maybe
Whoa!
next year.
Wow! To
Yeah,
God be the glory.
I think sometimes I work on it, then I'll go and sleep some more, then I'll come back.
Oh wow!
But I'm sure we should be able to finish before the end of the year, if by God's grace, and then we'll see what the rest holds.
Wow. In that case, listen, we're already holding brief for you. We're gonna, put it out there on Book Nuke, and Book Nuke ships all around the world. And I know the main thing is to get on Amazon, but please, guys, definitely not. Okay. I'm not knocking them, but I'm just saying we have an incredible platform in Ghana that just caters to Africa and the rest of the world. So we definitely want to check out Book Nuke. Let's see. Thank you to our monthly donors. Of course, I see Auntie Rose Machayo is here. We have not seen Auntie Esther in a while, but she's here. Jane Fiorito, EKD. He does not want me to stop mentioning his name yet, but you know what? We give honor where honor is due. These guys are holding up our show. These incredible, in fact, I would call them our executive producers, guys. Everything we do is coming from their pockets. Can you believe that? It's incredible. And it's better when you don't see it coming and it just shows up, right? So we thank you guys. Because of you, we come on every Tuesday and we tell incredible stories. God bless you. God bless you. What else is there to say? Producer, did I finish everything? I think I did. And if I didn't, I know my producer would remind me. Okay, Sumaya Akom has a request, and she has plastered it up here without shame. Uncle Joe, sing for us, please. Just one song, just 2 minutes. We beg. Now, she's really begging.
Let me see. No, I'm right here. What song would I do? How can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? Words are not enough to say thank you. Say, Lord, you're my everything. And I call you Jireh. You're my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my banner. I call you Rapha. You are my healer. Oh Lord, you're my everything.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you too.
Wow, I think the people of Tamale, we saw a comment there. They said they're waiting for you.
Well, yes. I'm going to Tamale, God willing, in November.
Wow.
Yeah, so we have our outreach program that we do, and this year we decided that we're taking it to Tamale.
Wow, what an incredible feat you have just achieved. We want to say thank you again. Thank you for being so gracious with us onto my younger self.
Thank you too for having me.
Wow, this is the way we do it in Africa. God helped Joe create a table. And without knowing who we are, he invited us again to be at the table with him. And we've had an incredible breakfast this morning. We want to thank you. There's a song that Joe and one of my other favorite artists, Benjamin, did about Africa. I know Joe is like, did I do that? Yes, you did.
You want to put that song?
And they're talking about Africa and how God saves Africa. Knowing the purpose of the show and the fact that our main goal is to get Africans to tell their stories positively and impactfully. We want to end today's show with this particular song. But before we go, Uncle Joe, now I'm calling you Uncle Joe, and I shouldn't because Sumaya put it up there. Now it's in my mind. But Minister Joe, what will be the last thing you would tell people? And producer says, yes, definitely to the masterclass. So we're reaching out to you when that time comes. The masterclass has Bendo Chimalo on. Please remind me, producer. Bendo Chimalo, Fritz Bafor, oh God, I'm freezing out now. Joyce Bawa Mokhtari, of course, I call Fisho, and Kwabna Yesu. I don't know why I call him Kwabna Yesu, but this is a tight group. You guys are the echelon storytellers of Ghana, and so it's going to be incredible. And of course, I think Uncle Lebo White is on there too, so it's an incredible masterclass that you guys are going to be doing. All righty. What's the last thing you would like to tell people?
I want to say thank you for having me. I really appreciate this. And all I would say is let's keep serving. Let's keep impacting our world. The world needs the children of God now more than ever before. And so keep being an inspiration in every corner you find yourself. And keep making the name of the Lord glorious. And keep making your country proud wherever you find yourself.
Yes, there you go. He just did it. Keep making your country proud. Keep making Africa proud. It is so important that the people of Africa, we're not rising up in arms. We're rising up with praise and worship and the word of God. That's the only way we will come out of this thing that we find ourselves in, whatever this thing is. I promise you. All right. With that being said, Minister Joe, thank you. I'll reach out to you.
Thank you.
Please
no problem.
Get some rest and
Thank
let us
you.
close out with this particular song about Africa that Joe did. We'll be right back and say goodbye. Here we go.
And I believe tonight we are laying a foundation for Africa to build on, and that is our faith. There is nothing that can.
We had to end it. We just had to end it because I was thinking to myself, no, I need to see Joe's face last. He was on the show we need to see Joe's face last. Guys, it has been an absolute pleasure. We thank you from Joe and I in the studio, virtually, of course. God bless you. We will see you next week with another incredible, storyteller. And we're closing out differently a little bit today because somebody did an incredible edit for us. And of course, we have to play it, right? So we'll see you next week. My name is Zoe Baraka, and I've been in the studio with Minister Joseph Oscar Niama Mettle. I cannot believe I remembered that. Bye, guys. It's been so much love. We love you. Bye.
Bye.
Kaja yi kushima wani me kona me waja shong. So Timbuktu, Ghana Mali, Sumanguru waja shong. Waja jage, waja shong. So Timbuktu, Ghana Mali, Sumanguru waja shong. Manchester ki Sumanguru waja jage, waja shong. What's that to do,